Alright, so I've had a lot of people ask me about this truck, so I decided to go in and make a little video about it. This is my 1964 Chevrolet C10. Short bed, fleet side. I got this truck on my 16th birthday. My birthday is in July and it falls on a holiday, so Independence Day. And we usually have a get-together on my birthday every year with my family. And we did. And about halfway through the day, through the get-together, I was told to come outside and this was sitting there. Actually, this July will be 10 years ago, so you can imagine the paint was a lot better, it was cleaned up and hadn't been sitting like it is. And also, it was a little bit higher than this, it's sat stock. Pretty emotional moment. Waterworks came and, you know, for a little bit of everybody there. I had my friends there and my father and my mother. Anyways, my dad had did some dealing with the man, and the dealing was my dad would redo his truck, put a motor in it, a power steering. I mean, go through the whole truck and modernize it for this truck. Now, this truck didn't look anything like it does now when they got it. It had been a pine straw truck. It had rust above the windshield, the quarter panels, the cab corners, the fenders. I mean, there was rust all through it. And my father and a couple of good buddies of his, which Charlie was one of them, which is right around the corner, the guy that we used his tire machine the other day. A man named Brad, which is a good friend of my father's. He did the wood in the back. And a few other people, including my mom, did a lot of the sanding on it, and they just went over it and they did a lot to the truck. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's go, buddy. I'm telling the story on the truck here. Yep. Since I wasn't there, I really don't know all the stuff you did to it, so I told who helped and everything.
Oh, that mercy. Talking about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Let's see, welded the fender bottoms, welded rockers, welded in cap corners. Underneath the roof at the front of the windshield, the mice had got up in there and made nests, and when they urinate, they get a bunch of rust holes. And I had to do some welding on the front of the hood, of course. And I found a tailgate. Brad Mertz cut the wood for the bed. He's the same one that's cut it for all the rat rod builds. Let me see, it was a 6-cylinder truck, and we put Thunderbird seats in it, power seats, built a console, a bunch of other stuff, just a lot of cleaning, bought the rims.
Yeah, what about the wheels?
The wheels come off of a, I think it was on a Nissan or Toyota 4-wheel drive, but they came from up around Rocky Mount. I met the guy, found them on Craigslist, met the guy up on 95 and got them, and then I bought new tires, Cooper Cobras. You burnt them off a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But anyway, the let me see, we had a new windshield put in it, and of course new rubber, and that's about it. Cleaned it up, and you know, the engine transmission was all still 6-cylinder, 3-speed. And it ran and drove, but it was just in rough shape. It had been used for hauling pine straw, so that, you know, it was, the sides of the bed was beat up, and we didn't do a perfect job. I mean, it was a 30-day job, so we rolled pretty quick on it.
That was 30 days between working as well.
Yeah, that was starting at 5 in the evening and quitting about 10, 11 at night. But and to get the truck, I actually had to build another truck to get this truck. I built a I think it was a 1950 Studebaker. I put a Buick motor, transmission, rear end, had to do all the wiring, all the brakes. I converted a disc brake on the front using the straight axle, and just changed everything around for it. And once I got it done, that was the payment to get the truck, and then I had to do all the work to it. So
sounds good.
But anyway, that was your birthday present, 16 years old.
10 years ago this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And thank God you didn't wrap it around the tree or nothing.
Appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome, buddy.
Now, when they started painting this truck, they were coming home with red paint all over their shoes and everything. And at the time, my dad had been doing tractors and everything. He had a bunch of cases and did magazines and was really involved with antique tractors. And anyways, there's a show called Denton and it's right around my birthday. They have it every year, actually the weekend of my birthday. And them coming home with the red paint on their shoes and everything, they had been telling me that they were busy getting some farmalls ready for the tractor show for the man he was working for at the time. So yeah, I tried to go and help and everything, and they always had an excuse to keep me away. So nice surprise. Now, like he said, this was a 6-cylinder truck, and it had a 3-speed on the column when I first got it. And I rode it my sophomore year in high school. Drove it just like that. Issues with the carburetor just about every day. And I'd be taking the top of the carburetor off in the school parking lot and cleaning it out, putting it back together, get it going. Yeah, it got old pretty quick, and eventually ended up putting a 350 in it. And that 350 was out of a 92 Buick Roadmaster, and we had put an aluminum intake on it and carbureted it. That motor ran really well, but we still had a 3-speed behind it. And if anybody knows what they look like, I mean, they're small transmissions, very small. And I went through quite a bit of them transmissions behind that small block. One day I got stuck in a driveway, and I was trying to rock the truck forward and backwards to try to get it out, and somehow I got caught in between first and reverse at the same time, and it blew the whole side of the transmission out. I mean, completely out. I still had first gear and I had third gear, and I somehow, I mean, with no fluid in it, I was afraid to call my dad and tell him. I mean, I didn't want him to have to come and get me, so I drove it all the way home with no fluid. I mean, no gear oil, nothing in the transmission. I don't know how I ended up doing that, but it was a good memory. So anyways, got it home. I think that was probably the last time that I put a 3-speed back in it. Ended up getting a column out of a 68 to 70 model. I don't remember exactly what it was. Automatic truck. Ended up putting a 350 turbo in it. So then it was a 350 truck. 350 small block and a 350 turbo transmission. After a couple years, I ended up having some issues with that motor, having some oil leaks, so that's when it got parked, and the engine that's sitting in it now was put in it, and that's where it sits. Like I said, this paint is 10 years old. Truck's been sitting for actually a couple years now. After I got out of high school and had started working and everything, I lost, the time that I needed to put into it, and what I have going on with it now, I don't have the money that I want to put in it to do exactly what I want to do to it. So there is going to be a lot to do with this truck. I'm not going to tell you guys what's in it right now. I do have a motor in it, but it's not the 350 that I had in it. So yeah, this truck has a lot of sentimental value. Like the hood there, that was a stupid mistake of mine when I was, really young. I ended up putting it on the back of the rollback, and that's when I didn't have a transmission in it. Mercy brake didn't work too well. Put it up, roll right into the headache bar of the truck. Little things like that, character still makes me cringe every time I see it. But I learned my lesson, that's for sure. I'm not afraid to admit my mistakes. This truck's never going anywhere though. I know y'all see the little boy that runs around here. This is going to be his truck one day. It means a lot to me. I had a lot of family members and a lot of good friends of my father's and been friends of mine. People that I've known a lot of my life. I put work into this truck to help, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be sure to share as much as I can, and I'm really excited for you guys and for myself, honestly, to start on this. I know a lot of you have been asking about it, so when I do start on it, I promise it'll be worth it. I'll let you guys wonder for now, though. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.